mentioned, when I was ambassador in Ethiopia, we really benefited a lot from this kind of consultation, sharing on experience, on governance, on development path, on development model. So we benefited a lot. Did promote or bring the two countries to communities of both countries. I mean, business community of both countries closer, so that they could have further kind of exploration or further consultation on what could be done between two governments, between the community, business community of the two countries. So really, I want to emphasize that we could do a lot, both at government level, National Assembly level, states level. I've been traveling these days, visit in some of the northern states. So these are really very important entities or players in promoting an all-inclusive development between two countries. Things. Second, I want to touch upon that Nigeria, of course, is under kind of pressure because of the dropping the oil prices in the international market. Nigeria is experiencing some downward economic development and also very tight fiscal and monetary situation. But we also are encouraged to see that the government is diversifying or is attempting to diversify the economy, which is really something I think has been a right thing to do. In these areas, and I think China really we can do a lot because China is doing three networks, is doing industrialization, and is shifting on cooperating, promoting industrial capacity in other developing countries. These are really some of the things we could integrate together by linking up our development programs, because China is comprehensively deepening our reform. We are going large. We are unwavering in our commitment to open the door wider and to go more extensively. And Nigeria is diversifying. So these, and I think, can bring us together. With these things, and also we have advantage of having so many Chinese companies, people here in Nigeria. They are working very closely, and I think we enjoy on very good terms with the local communities. So if we car assembly, home appliances, electric home appliances, or even heavy industry like iron and steel, building materials, textiles, food processing, agriculture, and agro-based processing, fisheries. So these are some of the things we could have potentials for. And the other area I remember very clearly when I was with my special envoy, the special envoy of the president, on 29th of May at the inauguration of the president. I still remember in his inaugural speech he said that Nigeria will create jobs through developing agriculture and mining industry. So these precisely China has been doing or has done, because China's reform started from rural areas, then moved to the urban areas. Agriculture, both being populous countries, agriculture is essential. It's really something you cannot ignore. Really something you cannot shift away from. So we really want to. There are already some Chinese companies here doing agricultural projects. So we'll identify and we'll share our experience, because China being 1.4 billion people, we are self-sufficient in food, clothing. And we want to share our experience. We want to share our expertise, our management, our applicable, practical techniques and expertise with Nigeria. So these areas we could explore. Other things like investment. Really, this is very important areas, but it's difficult. When we talk about investments, everyone is talking about investments. but enterprises or companies, they are operating on a commercial basis. They are after profits. They are after economic returns. It's a mutually beneficial. So we want to see how we could improve the macro or the we call environmental climate investors. The investors or the business communities in China, here in Nigeria and from China, they are interested in this market. I have my economic and commercial council with me here, and we've got frequent inquiries about the market in Nigeria, what kind of industry we could do, what security, infrastructure, these things. We try to present the factual, the how things are here, what's in for the country. So for investment, and I think when I want to emphasize that from past experience and also from experience of China's cooperation with other developing countries, especially with African countries, we think we have to develop sort of platforms like the free trade zone, FTZ, like industrial park. Actually, we have here right now in Lagos, Lekki, the Lekki free zone, and also we have another one all developed by Chinese operators in joint venture with local investors. So these are kind of things we do because China's economy or China's reform and opening up started in the coastal area. Of course, you know the SEZ, four special economic zones in southern China, bordering Hong Kong. We started from these areas, giving special policies and enjoy tax holidays. So we do want to see that we more platforms, more industrial zones, free zones like these ones, because we have been cooperating. There are successful stories in other African countries, like in our neighboring country, some of the China's neighbor in Asia. These kind of cooperation zones are doing very well. There is one developed by China and Ethiopian governments, which has been doing very well. So I do hope that we could have more a promotional experience in doing this kind of thing. I consulted with some of the government officials here. They are interested. So we want to really to see these industrial parks or free trade zones will be developed and policies will be moved. There are policies, but I think will be implemented and they will be joined by the incoming investors. Because according to China's experience, if you want to achieve fast economic development or even a takeoff or a period of economic development, really we have to have in place infrastructures. Everywhere you go, you will see this kind of pattern, this kind of story. Otherwise, it will be the investors will be hesitant. While the pertinent question they are asking, power supply, access roads, the transportation. If you want to develop agriculture, and there are agricultural produce, but the problem, the bottleneck is you cannot ferry them out. There are no roads. So this is our experience, part of the success story in China. We want to develop infrastructure, roads, street networks, railway, highway, and aviation, and of course, sea lane shipping. So Nigeria being, I think, we've noticed in dire need of the roads, the railways, rich companies, and also Chinese government to support to these projects jointly developed, undertaken by Chinese companies and the host governments. So in this regard, and I think we'll continue. We'll improve, we'll build on what we have achieved in the past. We'll improve and we'll achieve more projects and we'll be doing these kind of things to the benefit of both countries, both the people of both countries. Because right now, and we are promoting the idea that the I'm going back to the 13th five-year program of social and economic development. What we will achieve is a development idea, which will be a coordinated, scientific, coordinated, green, ecologically, and open, and shared or inclusive. So these are some of the new ideas developed by my government, and building on the consensus of the people. So we want to share this kind of developmental idea and our development path, some experience with the people and government of Nigeria, and to promote the common development and to achieve the mutually beneficial results, what we call the win-win development, the win-win results. I thank you very much. And again, thank the IOD, and specifically I want to thank the Nigeria-China Friendship Cooperation, Friendship Association for your outstanding contribution to at grassroots level, or in many ways, your contribution to promote mutual understanding and friendship between the people of China and Nigeria. Thank you very much.
At this stage, having listened to what he has said a lot about the state of the Chinese economy, the presence of China in major states and across Nigeria, and also the fact that a lot of questions and additional statements to His Excellency, and he can actually respond and interact with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please have just actually indicate your name, and then please direct your comments and questions to the Excellency Ambassador of China to Nigeria and West Africa. Thank you very much.
Fred from MIOD. Two questions to the Ambassador. What efforts are you putting in place to make it easier for businessmen to get visa into China? Yeah, that's the first question. 2 years ago, I was leading a delegation to China. I was doing publishing. I'm the immediate part CEO of the Islamic Society of Nigeria. And every year we get more than 1.5 million copies of Bibles from Amity Press in Nanjing, China. So I was the leading chairman and two others. And none of them could get a visa here. I had to get my visa in America with my wife to go to China. What are you putting in place to check piracy? You know, most of the books that they pirate, including our Bible that we do officially in China, there are some companies in China pirating safe Bibles. I have two cases. I'm also a lawyer. I have to go to the federal court on how they transfer of those Bibles. And when they come the printer, they say, well, the broad Bible didn't even know there's copyright on it. You just photocopy it and reproduce it. These are the two questions that I'm asking.
My name is Sibakari from the Potentiary group. I just want to say that so many things we can do together, like the Excellency said, but it's frustrating, just like last week said, that the only thing you need to take advantage, to know what China has to offer, is so difficult to get. I've been trying to get the professional to China for the past 4 years. The former Commerce Commissioner for Lagos State, Xiaojie, gave me a letter. Alaji Pedro of LCCI took my form. Man, because these are all organizations relate to it. And I want to tell you that I can't get it. It's still very, very difficult. Thank you.
Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Orientation. My question is not about what the say, visa or what. But I want to ask Excellency, what are you doing concerning application relationship between Nigeria and China? About the visa people have talked about, I just discovered that a lot of petty business get visa that the ordinary people. I was on my way from Abu Dhabi, precisely next week, last week, Monday, and we are getting Hajj Abi. Qatar Airlines. And I discovered that close to 6 to 7% of the passengers are all from China. And there's no any airline direct to Lagos there or from any part of the Nigerian airport, China. I want to have a service when I go to the
You mentioned governments and the government. If I suggest.
What's your name, sir?
Oh, my name is Paul Major, fellow of the Institute of Directors. I would suggest that you recommend to their country that power should be the top priority of their cooperation with Nigeria. The unemployment problem in this country takes this route for all power situation, because factories cannot function. And most those that try to direct their own power are having a lot of problems. So if we have regular power, industries can thrive, and then employment or unemployment will be reduced, and then other things can come. Because no matter what we invest in agriculture and other areas, we'll still be having problems with industrialization if it's not possible to have steady power. So that's my number one problem. That's what I think China will try to do for Nigeria.
The very potential to want to be outside and also to promote in talks. I go in Nigeria about the visa issue, and I think both in country, China and Nigeria. So we'll move about this people traveling around, and anything that is happening in the populous country, it will be magnified. Yeah, because just look at the sheer number of people traveling. I want to say that Nigeria right now has the biggest population of residents in China doing business. The people change because we think that if the formal relations between the countries will be developed or grow, really you have to have the sponsorship of the people or from grassroots. China will welcome Nigerians to visit China, to do business, to study, to visit friends, and to travel. Something I don't think there are any bottlenecks, difficulties, or getting China visa to travel to China. My government will put the embassy here. We are trying every means to facilitate the visa application process. Like February last year, the two governments signed an MOU, an agreement, exempting the diplomatic passport holders from getting a visa to travel to the other country. So this is a very concrete measure, very practical measure. Not only diplomatic passports, official passports as well. Two categories of passports, diplomatic and categories. The holders will be exempted from any visa if one to travel to other country. So this is what we are doing to facilitate, to make it easy for the people to travel to other countries. And with the growing volumes of trade, people exchanges, and of course, we feel the political part of logistical difficulties because the embassy or the consul general here in Lagos, we still we are just increasing our staff members. So we are handling a growing cases or caseloads of applications. But of course, we are trying other means, like we are hiring local staff, and also we are facilitating procedures. So all in all, I have to say, there are no bias, no difficulties, or there are no discrimination against people in Nigeria who want to travel to China. And I ran up, and I think if the government officials or business communities who want to travel, they could have kind of special sponsorship, if from like foreign affairs or ministries, the federal government. If we have a special sponsorship, I think that will definitely facilitate the visa application process. About the piracy, or my government is giving, I think, emphasis or is attaching great importance to the protection of intellectual property because China is a developing country. So gradually in our process of development, we are trying to honor our commitments or promises, like some of the international property protection conventions. My government is doing everything possible domestically to have more standards, to have more regulations and domestic legislature to protect the intellectual property and to I think that these are some of the comments that I make in relation to the visa issue and the heritage product. Thank you very much.
No matter what letter you put across, it will not tantamount to it. I don't understand it. And there are organizations in this country, fake organizations, that pretend to be authority for issuing of visas. Please go to genuine organizations, recognize that the embassy for issuance of visa. I may want to use my own Nigerian China Friendship Association. We do not have any record of visa being from our members or people who recommend visa being rejected because we are recognized as the visa, because we are recognized as well known to the embassy. So I would urge you to please seek out the organizations that are recognized, not individuals, that are recognized by Chinese constitution, of course, or the embassy in Abuja, and fulfill their requirements for insurance. They will tell you what the requirements are, and it's up to you to fulfill those requirements before you can go to the country.
I think that it's not going to be fair. The question posed to the Chinese ambassador with respect to the energy cooperation. I stand here to attest that between 2005 and 2006, I was the director of mission for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I knew very well that when Chairman Obama came to Nigeria in 2004, we signed a series of MOUs and agreements to put the Mambila project in place. Mambila project alone can supply 5.9 thousand kilowatts and megawatts to the sector. And we pleaded the Chinese, I remember the Toyewala from IMF in Washington. Obama signed agreements to give us $2.5 million to kickstart the construction of Mambila power project at scale. We got the money, signed it in Abuja when the president of China was visiting here.